The Bubble on Netflix. Man, Judd Apatow. Last time we heard from him was The King of Staten Island,
Yeah,
which we both liked
2020.
quite a bit. I think it had some of the usual Apatow ness, maybe a little too long. Actually, SNL just made fun of that point this past week, which I thought was pretty funny. Pete Davidson was in on the joke, which I thought was great. Um, but overall, were really impressed with the storytelling, the mix of humor and seriousness in it. Just a
Right.
lot of great themes. And Apatow seemed to have his fastball back. And now The Bubble comes out on Netflix. Did he maintain that fastball for you, Dave?
That's a hard no on this one, man. Very perplexing to see this is a movie made by Judd Apatow, given his credits. Even his like misses aren't like this, and it just comes across as in a very like dated and not thought through movie presence, and ultimately probably conceived as a bit of a timely cash grab. It's a bit disappointing, and it wastes blockbuster cast in the process.
You talk about blockbuster cast. I mean, who's who of up and coming people in this. Headlined by Karen Gillan, but obviously Pedro Pascal, his daughter Iris Apatow. I mean Leslie Mann, his wife. So those are
Yeah,
kind of there. But like you get some old timers: Fred Armisen, Dave Duchovny. Um, but just a lot of people. Rob Delaney's in this. You kind of go down the list. John
Keegan Michael Key,
Lithgow. Yeah, I think you even get like a Benedict Cumberbatch uh, face
Mo-
in there.
yeah,
You get John
mocap,
Cena, Daisy
James
Ridley.
McAvoy.
I mean, like so many people are in this, and ooh, I found this to be incredibly unfunny. I
Yeah,
think there's maybe like two or three scenes that I really thought were like really really great. And yeah, I think you said it well. This felt like it should have been made in like the late 2000s as like a parody movie to something else,
ah,
and it's almost just like a parody of
yes,
itself, which is I don't know if that
like a
is
Meet the
that the joke.
Spartans type thing or something. Yeah,
Exactly, something like that. I don't know. Just really didn't work. Also, I don't know if Kate McKinnon's made like a good thing outside of SNL in her career.
no, at least not in a while, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe what was the one with Mila Kunis in her? People liked
yeah,
that.
spy something. I forget.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, honestly, what the most frustrating aspect of this cast and like the wasting big cast for me is you have Maria Bakalova in this breakout star of Borat 2, and she has a complete nothing part and does absolutely nothing in the movie. So
yeah.
stupid.
Although I do have to say, her whole thing with Dieter and how like she controlled him, I did
Yeah,
find her like mesmerizing, and I
she is
think
funny.
she still has something there. But, whew, I mean, I'm just trying to think like probably the moment I liked the most was when Pedro Pascal, Dieter, like is having the reaction to taking too many drugs, and they just
Hmm.
don't know how to like take care of him, so they keep like
Yeah,
doing all this stuff. They put him in ice.
hitting
They
him.
like yeah, hit him in the chest, and then finally Maria Bakalova's Annika runs over and like gives him the what was an EpiPen?
Adrenaline or whatever it
Yeah,
is.
whatever that is.
Narcan, whatever.
Narcan. Yes, thank you. And that I thought was pretty funny, just like how they didn't know how to do anything. But
Yeah.
man, I just I really can't even think of other moments I liked in this.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few like one-off moments where like I chuckled a few times. Like I thought early on where doing the COVID test for Karen Gillan, I think it was, and the guy starts counting down from 100, and then after a few seconds, he's like, "No, no, no, just kidding." Like I thought that was
Yeah.
pretty good. The guy explaining like the VR like sex glove prosthetic
Oh
thing,
yes,
thought that was pretty good.
that was ridiculous.
Um, Also, Daisy Ridley being like a horny AI that is
Yeah.
Pascal, right? Pascal like acid trips into having like intercourse with. I was like, wow, that was like
Yeah.
pretty funny to see Daisy Ridley in a random cameo like that, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, there's like a bunch of like just dated aspects to it. Like just like the whole thing of so this movie was conceived and like greenlit in like fall 2020. They made it in from February to April 2021. The thing though is like a lot of like the COVID like humor in this movie, making a movie during COVID, a lot of the humor it's like just so dated to our understanding of COVID. It's like all like spring 2020 stuff. And we didn't know anything. Like there's a joke about like how the person got COVID who got everyone's coffee. And because she gave everyone coffee, we have to go into quarantine. Like we've known for so long that you don't get COVID passed to you by physical objects. Like
Mhm.
that's just like, and they made this movie in the spring of last year. Like why didn't they rewrite this? It's just stuff like that just kind of frustrated me because it's like this might have been more funny to someone if they happened to watch it back in the early pandemic, but then it wouldn't have been funny because it's such a tragic time. It's just like it just some of it's just really off in that regard.
Yeah, I completely agree. I honestly just didn't think the writing in this was really funny at all. I guess like I'm trying to think like what moments actually stand out in my mind. I guess the stuff with Duchovny and Leslie Mann kind of
Yeah.
does. I didn't really find that very funny, but I did find the part where Leslie Mann's hand gets shot off pretty funny just because it was so shocking and just like,
Yeah.
oh, did not expect them to go there. Um, the stuff with Iris Apatow, I thought like the like TikTok star aspect of it was like
Yeah.
not really well done at all and just kind of
No,
plain.
it's like, oh, she's a D'Amelio. Okay. Again, it's very
Yeah.
2020 understanding of TikTok too. Like
Hmm.
it's like, oh, she's a
Yeah.
really like vapid young Gen Z person who only knows social media clout. Okay, like that's your observation, but you didn't do anything on it for 2 hours. Like there's no development. It's like
Yeah, and what they were trying to say about like cancel culture when they were trying to like cancel her or whatever, that
yeah,
other influencer. I just was like, this is such like a rich person perspective on like cancel culture. I just thought it
right.
was kind of stupid.
Also,
All the
like
stuff with Keegan Michael Key, like stupid and
yep,
ridiculous.
yep. You have the jokes about oh you can recast me, and the guy lists off all the Batmans and then calls Robert Pattinson the Twilight guy. It's like obviously that's
Mhm.
a very dated, stupid joke to film Twitter people, but also like by the time we watch this movie, we've seen Robert Pattinson be Batman, and he's fucking awesome. You know.
Yeah.
Also, there's a,
um,
there's a line about so and so previously working for DaBaby, calling him a nice guy. Another very dated thing. When they made this movie, DaBaby was still kind of he was probably like thought of more kindly back then, so maybe we can forgive that one.
maybe.
Oh, I don't know. And also they dropped an Iggy Azalea song in this, a new Iggy Azalea song. At that, I was like, wow, that's a choice. That is a choice for sure.
Yeah. Overall, just wasn't my favorite movie to watch. Not would not recommend. Um,
Cliff B
yeah.
7, you're not into it?
Even that like concept just annoyed me.
Yeah.
So
Honestly, do you think this movie would have been better if we never saw them actually on set once, and it was just
hmm,
all about the stuff of them in the hotel and losing their minds and stuff? Maybe that would have worked better because like all this stuff of watching them make this really stupid CGI blockbuster. It's like it was just like almost like in the way or like padding or something.
I just don't think Judd Apatow is the right person to make this movie. I think you need someone who had like slight like horror chops to it too. Like Jordan
Hmm.
Peele feels like if he had made this movie, this would have been so much more like thoughtful and like maybe it would have
Right.
been
Well,
a good mix of funny and scary. But
can say that
obviously,
about most movies in Jordan Peele, to be honest.
good point. Yeah, good point. I'm trying to think of if I can think of anybody else. Ari Aster, maybe. I
There
feel
we
like
go.
this would have been a better like horror movie almost, but I don't know. Just I don't even want to think about this movie anymore.